That's more like it.
No sign.
It's not about the signs we bring, it's about the representation that's here, and there's a wide variety of faces. My dear friends, my dear brothers and sisters and family members,
I have hot chocolate.
I have a little bit of a lengthy story to tell you, because I didn't know what to say. I got this text message, what do you say? How do you engage in such a outwardly dehumanizing argument? How do you make humanity controversial? We're so much more afraid of the labels than we are of the actual people. We don't even know the people. We don't know the people. So this is not just for the immigrants and the refugees that are coming here today. This is starting from the founding fathers that had a good intention. If there was a good intention, then it's that. It's that Adam's ounce of good intentions. That's who we're honoring today. To every last person that has traveled to dream up something big. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful. I am a Muslim, and I worship a God of graciousness and mercy. I am a woman who visibly wears her faith on her head. I am an American of German and Syrian descent, born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Back in the 80s, my dad came to this country from Damascus, and he started off mopping floors at a Chinese restaurant in Omaha, Nebraska. He literally started from the pennies that he put in his pocket. He built himself an American dream. He has 3 successful Arabic restaurants in Colorado. He has real estate across the country. He has a beautiful suburban home with 3 stories, very privileged. When I was a little girl, my pops used to have this corner in the family room with a bunch of cassette tapes, ranging from the sheikhs reciting the holy scripture during the month of Ramadan in Mecca, to videotapes of family reunions in Council Bluffs, Iowa. But more importantly, my father had a blue leather little pack of cassettes with a gold stamp on it that was real estate classes from Donald Trump. And my father learned how to do real estate from those cassettes. Here's a funny story though. Last year, at the end of 2015, my family's home burned down. It wasn't a hate crime. It wasn't arson. Both the cats were okay and no one was hurt. But this was a test for my father. And he had to learn that sometimes the American dream will burn down. Sometimes when the fire starts, it's gonna start by the front door, and it's gonna be next to the room where all your furniture happens to be. It's gonna burn through the floor, it's gonna fall in the basement. It's gonna smoke bomb every drawer, every article of clothing, every flag that you have. It's gonna melt the doorknobs, and you're gonna stand there. This American dream crumbled before you, and all you are going to have is thank you for my family still being here. The American dream has always been here. Because in the times of oppression, in the times of poverty, in the times that we were hungry and homeless and struggling and the drought struck and the dust bowl was scorching, there has always been something, some itch of a dream that has made it so that we won't give up to the starvation. We will survive. Donald Trump, these bans, these walls, they're not the scariest enemy we've seen. We have combated hunger. We have combated deciding whether you're gonna feed your family or pay your bills. The American dream is lived by the struggling Americans. And the thing is, whether they brown or they wear a rag on their head, they're all struggling the same way, my friend. And that's a fact. And absolutely. And Mr. Donald Trump, I don't know if you'll ever hear me, but maybe I'm speaking to his supporters too, or anyone who wants to know what I stand for. I am not a war wager. And if you put a ban on refugees from only Muslim countries, then I'm gonna view it as maximum capacity for our dinner party. And I'm gonna invite you to my mosque, and we're gonna have a meal. And if you refuse to come, then you are refusing to get to know what has always made America great. And that's Americans. We are Americans, not refugee, not asylum seeker. We are Americans. Our families should not have to be afraid that their children are gonna get shot in the head because of a bigot over refugee stuff. I'm not a refugee. Our families should not have to be afraid, and fear is poisoning our country. And the greatest act of defiance that we can do, not just as supporters of human rights, but as members of this nation, the greatest act of defiance is refusing to be afraid. Because once you do that, I'm not kidding you, once you do that, you open yourself to the inspiration that your neighbors have to offer you. Mr. Donald Trump, if you ban Muslims, then I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna feed the most diverse population in this country, and that's the homeless people. That's the people you haven't said one thing about in your campaign. That's the grassroots. And if we can't agree on God, and if we can't agree on politics or borders, then I think every American needs to go to the homeless shelter, and we need to at least bring more voices to this debate and bring everyone to the same level.
2 o'clock here tomorrow.
2 o'clock here tomorrow, I guess, is something going down. Let's go. I don't mean to ramble. I don't mean, I'm an American. And only the angel of death is gonna deport me. No one's gonna stop me. And I'm gonna die here. And if I don't die here, I got family members who are already buried here. So our bones are here. Just like the buffalo that we genocided. Just like the trees that we massacred. We will always be here. Why? Because America never stopped being great. Maybe the streets got a little crazy. Maybe the terrorists got in and we didn't do anything to stop it. But the fact of the matter is, as long as we stand here together, struggling, give each other a smile, or a damn peace sign, or $1 to the homeless guy, whatever. If we stop looking at each other as anything but Americans, this is going to be a lot easier to handle the next 4 years. God bless America. And if Donald Trump forgets to say that, then I'm gonna say it. The Muslim girl from Denver, Colorado. Peace out. Love, justice, peace, justice, justice, justice. Without justice, there is no peace. Take it easy, guys. One last time, how we doing today? Let's go.